Twitch fixed everything.
You know when you have a bump on your forehead and you're not exactly sure if it's going to become a pimple tomorrow that's gross and ugly, or if it'll get absorbed back into your skin and you're safe? That's kind of like Twitch's decision making. Sometimes they make decisions that might be the catastrophic end of Twitch as we know it. Or it'll be back to business as usual. And after the huge shitstorm that Twitch went through yesterday, we're here to talk about whether it is going to become a pimple or it is all going back to normal. And the answer, surprise, surprise, somewhere in the middle. But first, let's look once again at the branded content guidelines article that caused the entire shitstorm, with all of their infographics of the things you're not allowed to do.
Which, by the way, I want to say that Twitch walked all of this back, and they apologized for it. Like, all of the branded content guidelines, the entire thing is gone.
And their 3% screen size rule that everybody made fun of. If I refresh, it's all gone. They got rid of the entire thing.
It's done.
You can no longer see those fun graphics. To the people who made those graphics at Twitch, I know it's not your fault. I think you did a very good job. It's very clear.
It's actually very true. It was very clear. It was very obvious
what Twitch was doing. So clear, in fact, that everybody was collectively upset about it and yelled at Twitch enough to delete it off of the website.
Yeah. Somebody says if the disclosure tool is still required. The disclosure tool is not required. However, you must disclose if you're doing a partnered, you're doing a paid advertisement. So a lot of people don't know this. Still, they don't know this. If you are taking a sponsorship or a partnership, or you're being paid money by a company to promote something, you are legally required to disclose that to your audience. So, for example, Razer. I am sponsored by Razer. There it is. It is a law. It is required, and it's a good law. That's a W law. That's the way it should be.
And now, basically, all that
that's why people don't put hashtag ad because they want to. They put it because they have to. Hashtag ad. By the way, if you look at the FTC guidelines, they never said that. Like, do you think that in anywhere on the fucking .gov website there's a section for hashtag ad? No, there's not. This is just a way that streamers have used to effectively, fulfill this. And it's just been kind of agreed on. But no, that's not even stated. You don't even have to do hashtag ad. You can disclose it in other ways too. Do you have to disclose stuff when you own a company? If I understand it properly, the answer to that is no. But I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Is you have to tell people branded content disclosure tool that you are doing a sponsored stream. Good. And you cannot do sponsored content with hateful products, illegal products, gambling products, spam products, scam products, weapons. Fine. Okay, great. I can agree with all of that.
Sure.
Except for, why is it okay to have an alcohol sponsor but not a cannabis sponsor?
Thank you. Well, all right. So Ludwig, I think, is wrong on this, and it's not even, like, I agree with him, but the reason is because cannabis is illegal in a lot of places. Like, that's the reason. That's it. Yeah, it's federally illegal. Because, like, I think we all agree, Ludwig knows, I know, you guys know, alcohol is like 10x worse than weed. And in, like, a tier list of, like, what's best at killing you, I would say tobacco is S tier, alcohol is also S tier, cannabis is probably at the D or the E tier.
Seems weird. Anyway, let's focus on the thing that actually matters, which is the update to all this, which was clarified by Twitch just a few moments ago when they said yesterday we released new branded content guidelines that impacted your ability to work with sponsors to increase your income from streaming. These guidelines are bad for you and bad for Twitch, and we're removing them completely. Sponsors are critical to streamers' growth and ability to earn income. We will not prevent your ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors. You will continue to own and control your sponsorship business.
There it is.
We want to work with our community to create the best experience on Twitch, and to do that, we need to be clear about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Great. This is all good and true, and they're getting a lot of W's from creators who basically spent the better part of yesterday threatening to leave the website.
Also spent the better part of yesterday talking to Dan Clancy. Talked to him for 2 hours about this topic and kind of like how it affects people, etc. And I think that helped.
But is it all as it seems? Well, let's take a gander over at the actual terms of service. This is very available to anybody who wants to see it, the Twitch terms of service. And in it, they have a section called advertisements, where it says, Twitch has the exclusive right to monetize the Twitch services, including, without limitation, the exclusive right to sell, serve, and display ads on the Twitch services. This means you may not, or you may, nor may you allow a third party to embed pre-recorded advertising units into your live stream, including without limitation video ads, pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll, or banner advertisements or audio advertisements. Basically, everything that was in the article yesterday still stands.
I don't know if this was there before then or not. I don't know. Can somebody tell me that? If this section was there already? It wasn't? That was there before then already? It was not? It was? No idea. They may not have updated it. It's getting changed. Yeah, I mean, like, how could we know that? Chat doesn't know. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't know either. Because I'd be curious to see what YouTube's rules on this are, if any. Use the Wayback Machine? All right, let's do it right now. twitch.tv/p/en/legal/terms of service. We're going to try and do this one because the simulcasting might not have been there because that simulcasting part was updated. So we're going to go ahead and just let that go. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at March 30th. How about that? It says third-party content. Is there any advertisement information here at all? So it was before trademarks. Control F. Oh, okay. Endorsement, testimonials. Okay, it looks like this is... It's not there. So it was... Okay, so it was added it. So it is new. Okay, it is new then. So it looks like this has been changed and the advertising section was updated as of yesterday. Okay, so now we know that, and we're on the same page. I think that if Twitch actually enforces this, people will not do their content there, and this seems very confusing. Now, obviously, like based off of the conversations I had with Dan Clancy and also what they said on Twitter publicly, it seems like they're not looking to interfere with this kind of stuff, but. It's one thing to say that, and it's another thing for it to be right there in the TOS. You see what I'm saying? It's literally right there.
Don't freak out yet. It's not a big deal. Hold for a moment. Why did they include this in their terms of service and then run everything back on Twitter? Well, the reason is because they had a goal. No one knows what the goal is. There's some theories out there. I talked to Hassan. His theory is that they're going for stream elements. Basically, these larger corporations who have a way to do ads at scale by automatically inserting overlays, whether they be banners or mid-roll ads, into people's streams without the need to have like a bespoke deal and be like, yeah, this person has 1,000 viewers. How much can you do for them? They really love Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons with Drift. And I think the argument is that they're trying to put this language, at least legally, into the terms of service so that companies like maybe that can no longer operate. There's a...
Yeah, I think that's... I agree with Ludwig. From what I understand, that is the case. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and I think he's right on that. From everything that I know, I think that's true. And I don't really think that's that big of a deal. It depends on how things evolve. But it's not something that's affecting like a streamer taking a HelloFresh sponsorship or a streamer playing a video game or getting sponsored by, I don't know, like the America's Card Room or something like that.
Boogeyman that Twitch is scared of and they're going for, but the boogeyman is not...
Somebody says YouTube has this exact same thing in their TOS and they don't enforce it. Yeah, I that's my understanding too.
Not the individual streamers. So basically... The article wasn't wrong. It was just interpreted to be the most severe version of it, where they're going for everybody. And I guess technically with this language, they could still go for the average streamer, but I think that is not their goal with it, and I don't think
it seems like it's not. And if
I wouldn't freak out.
Okay. I think that's obviously the case, is that they don't want to have content creators that can't do ads on their stream. Because here's the truth, is that it's not that bad. They're going to do what they said they're going to do in TOS. Well, I think that there's a lot of things in the TOS that Twitch doesn't enforce. Does that make sense? Like, if you actually read the terms of service, so I'll give you a good example. In the terms of service, it says that you can't discriminate against people based off of their age. So if I call somebody a stupid kid, that should technically be grounds for discrimination and for me to get banned. That's what it says in the rules. So as long as they outline what the philosophy behind the rules is, then it makes me less worried about like how the rules will be enforced, because there's a philosophy that guides the enforcement of the rules. Does that make sense? They'll ban a VTuber, but not a titty streamer? Oh, yeah, definitely. From the monetization guy at Twitch. What did this guy say? Yeah, this is the guy. This is the... He is monetization at Twitch. And you can tell, think about how stressful of a job that is. This guy's lost all of his hair. So obviously, he's probably trying to do his job here. He says, yes, we will clarify the terms of service. Terms of service changes take more time. The TOS is focused on third-party ad networks. We will not take action for sponsorships. That is pretty big. And that's good. That's very, very good. They pick and choose who to enforce these rules on based on how big their platform is, what type of content they make. This will be no different. Well, I think that whenever people start getting randomly banned for things, every other streamer, especially like, and this is happening a lot with VTubers right now, is that it seems like VTubers are being held to a higher standard than real girls are. Because a VTuber can wear an outfit that's clearly, I mean, this is obviously a sexy outfit that's meant to be sexual. But whenever a real girl does this, it's totally fine. What is the logic? Like, are people at Twitch like not attracted to real girls, but they are to like 2D girls? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened. I think this is ridiculous. Now, my solution to that is to let everybody wear whatever they want. I don't think it matters. And if you're going to get bent out of shape about a girl wearing a bikini, just stop watching the stream. Problem solved. But, you know, if you're going to ban people for that, it should be all or nothing. I just think it's such a ridiculous idea that a VTuber is going to get banned, but a real girl doesn't. Like, what the fuck are you talking? It's so stupid. Anyway, the point is that if VTubers keep getting banned randomly for stuff like that, you would expect them to move over to YouTube or another platform. And I think that this will be the same thing, is that if content creators and different organizers start getting banned for putting ads into their content in order to fundraise for it and to make money off of it, and they get banned for it, you're going to start seeing everybody move away from doing content on Twitch pretty much overnight. Because it's one thing for somebody to get a 24-hour suspension, and it's another thing for you to tell somebody they're not allowed to make any money. That's a completely different thing. Let's actually wear whatever they want, leave them be. Oh, I think so too, definitely.
Too much, because YouTube does have the same language. I think it is fear over someone having enough sales volume and being able to do it at such a large scale that they chew into the media sales of Twitch.
Sure.
Like when you run an ad button and everybody sees a Chipotle ad, if somebody was able to get 1,000 streamers and run a Chipotle ad with their button, then it'd be a competition. I think that's it. And so, you know, book closed, but maybe keep the bookmark there because we might have to open it back up later. Right. There was something else, however.
Yeah, and I do think it's a W for Twitch to come out and clarify this and just straight up apologize and remove it. Like, I think this is a W, and I understand that a lot of people are very skeptical and they're upset at Twitch for doing this. However, I am, you know, it's the same thing as I said yesterday or the day before whenever I streamed is, you know, I try to be a reasonable guy, and I try not to just completely fly off the handle for things. So, like, whenever I said, oh, I would leave the platform for this completely, right? I didn't say I'm going to do this tomorrow, right? I give people time. I give Twitch time to respond, and I feel like their response has been at least adequate. It's a reverse L, not a W, I'd say. Well, they don't have an L against them. Maybe you could, it's fair for you to say that it's not a W, but it's not an L anymore either.
That I feel like is also worth talking about here, which was another change to the terms of service that was done somewhat hush-hush, somewhat quietly. And this one was about simulcasting.
Yeah.
Now, Twitch recently reversed their rule on simulcasting. Back in the
watch
day,
the ninja
you weren't
thing about
really
this.
allowed to simulcast at all. And then recently, they said, hey, you actually can do it, but you can only do it on vertical live streams, basically Instagram live streams or TikTok live streams, because they're not directly competitive to Twitch and their ecosystem, and they're somewhat additive in a way, because the people who watch vertical live streams might be interested in a horizontal live stream. But they updated this and they said, when you are streaming live on the Twitch services, you may not simultaneously live stream or broadcast on any other Twitch-like service. Now, this has been a rule for a while now. The difference, though, is they changed it from you are not allowed to do it, what it is now, from what it was before, partners are not allowed to do it. Or
affiliates, yeah.
Affiliates are not allowed to do it.
Yeah, basically before, you could simulcast if you weren't a partner or affiliate. I think two examples of this was Nadeshot whenever he wanted to watch some Call of Duty event that 100 Thieves was involved in. And I think the more well-known example of this is Ninja, who got unpartnered on Twitch and is not affiliate, but he just streams on everything. Why would new streamers stream just on Twitch if discoverability is trash garbage? I don't know. I really don't. Like, I've said before, like, if somebody is a new content creator and they're wondering what platform should I go to, I would tell them don't go to Twitch. Straight up. And it's not like, the reason why I say that is because the platform just, like, how do you go from 1 to 5 viewers? How do you go from 5 to 15 viewers on Twitch? It's really hard. But it's actually very easy to get a video that gets 1,000 views. A video that gets 100 views. It is very easy to do that. You pick a topic that people are interested in, you use keywords that people are going to use, and you put your videos out there, and you keep putting them out there. Right? You might not get a bite on the first one. It's like fishing, but you keep putting your fucking bait out there, and you're going to get a hit. And even if you disagree with that, I think we can all agree that you're going to get hits more often than you would on Twitch.
For a long time, there were people who were multi-streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, on Rumble, and they would do it without being Twitch partners or affiliates, to basically get the huge amount of people that are on Twitch to maybe check them out on the other sites where they're able to monetize. Now, you're just not allowed to do it full stop. You are not allowed to stream on Twitch and any other Twitch-like service.
Because other people weren't taking affiliates, so they could stream on other platforms at the same time as Twitch. So Twitch is obviously, like, this is like a game exploit. New patch comes out. You can't do that anymore. I think that it seems... I think this is an example of Twitch. Like, and I understand where they're coming from. Because, like, pushing out video and audio quality that's so high to like 3 viewers or 5 viewers is probably not profitable for them. So they want to be able to make money off of people in that way. Sure, I get it. But at the same time, like, you don't exist in a vacuum. And you have Rumble, you have Kick, and you have YouTube. And all these other platforms don't have this. So why would somebody handicap themselves by exclusively streaming to the website that has the worst discoverability? It doesn't make any sense.
YouTube, regardless of whether you make money on Twitch or not. And you can only do it if you have advanced written permission from Twitch. And, of course, you are allowed to still do vertical live streaming, but that's not really the big question here. And why does this matter? Well, it affects people. It affects a lot of streamers who have made a concrete decision to try to monetize on the websites like YouTube, but use the larger viewer base of Twitch to get people over to those sites and basically maximize their viewership. One of those people being Ninja, who had a pretty poignant conversation about this on stream today that I'll play for you guys.
They're basically forcing my hand. I'm not partnered on Twitch. I don't make money there. I make $0 on Twitch.
Now, for context, Ninja, a while back, when he had his decision of where he was going to sign, decided he would sign nowhere and ended up streaming live from basically everywhere that would let you stream at once. He was live on Instagram, Facebook,
Snapchat,
YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all at the same exact
Vine,
time. And to do that, he had
MySpace.
to revoke his Twitch partnership. And because of that, he doesn't even have the ability to make money on Twitch.
Yeah.
So they then put a rule in that says I can't stream. I can't simulcast. What am I going to choose? What am I going to choose? Am I going to choose streaming to YouTube, TikTok, Kick, all the
Do you want to choose everything else or just Twitch?
Facebook all at the same time? Am I going to choose streaming all to there?
Everything or Twitch?
Or am I going to just only stream to Twitch and make no money? Like zero. What the who would like that's it's a no-brainer.
Now, this is a problem that affects Ninja most famously, but also mostly affects smaller streamers.
It does.
Because at its core, people who like to stream on multiple...
Like, the end of the day, Ninja, I'm not sure about Ninja's finances, but, like, from what I know, I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be good, pretty much. But, like, if you're a 10-viewer Andy or something like that, you're going to be having a really bad time with this change. Because now you have to decide between potentially taking advantage of the discoverability of Twitch or the better monetization of Twitch or growing your stream on multiple other platforms.
Websites are people who are trying to attract as many audiences or new viewers as possible. And it's honestly a pretty good strategy because you're able to get people who are more native to Twitch and people who are more native to a YouTube or a Facebook or whatever and cultivate communities in many different pockets that maybe you can have all conglomerate in one area where you're monetizing your best, whether that be a YouTube or even Patreon or a Kick or whatever it is. And now that's just fully dead, or at least the Twitch part of it is dead, which is pretty big because Twitch is still the biggest live streaming platform in the world.
Oh yeah, and it is by a margin. Twitch is still the biggest platform, and that's it. 10-viewer Andy's real life drives have to put in effort making videos to get discovered on Twitch. It's so much time-consuming work. Oh, it definitely is. I think that, like, I see people sometimes and they stream every single day and they have a full-time job and they stream like 6 hours a day. And they're super tired and really boring because, like, they just got done working an 8-hour shift or something like that. And it's always sad to see that because, like you're never going to get anywhere doing this. Like, it's not like one day your viewer count's just going to randomly start going up. Like, these people are just wasting their time. But if they had just done content on YouTube or something like that and been smarter about how they go about, trying to produce content, then they might be in a much better position.
And it doesn't seem like Twitch is going to bow down on this one, but it is kind of a fucking L because there was no conversation. There was no article about this. This was just a sneaky little change in their terms of service that now impacts hundreds of streamers who were using that feature that they allowed previously. Not only that, by the way, but they're kind of forcing this decision very quickly on everybody. Because the new TOS, if you are a current partner with a deal that you've been really happy with, that you signed a year back, that you still have 2 years on, not anymore. As of yesterday, Twitch partners are getting notifications that there's a new contract. If they don't accept it, their partner contract will be terminated at the effective contract date, and they will be made into affiliates until they do accept. So they're really trying to get this TOS signed and stamped immediately. I think there's some big decisions and big things that Twitch wants, like, legality over, and so they're making sure everybody's on board with this new TOS from here on out. And by the way, if you don't sign and you decide to break your partnership and then your affiliate agreement, you also
have to pay them $25.
So
Ninja's going to have to pay them $25 potentially.
Pay. If you or we terminate this agreement, a maintenance fee will be deducted from your remaining balance. The maintenance fee will be lesser than the accrued program fees for your Twitch channel, or $25. Any remaining balance after that will be paid to you. So they take $25 out of your last paycheck if you do decide to
You've
leave.
got to keep in mind that, like, with $25, that's a large percentage of most people's money that they make off of Twitch. Most people do not make tens of thousands of dollars off of Twitch. Most people make $100 off of Twitch. So this is like a quarter of their income.
Twitch as a whole because of all these decisions after signing a affiliate contract, and that's where Twitch is currently at. So look, it is good. It is good that they backpedaled and they clarified that they're not coming for creators' pay. It is bad that they snuck in a provision to their terms of service that stops creators from growing on Twitch and other websites while making no money from Twitch anyway. So I don't know why it would matter.
Yeah.
That's your update for Twitch. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Tomorrow we'll be back with stuff that's not related to streaming platforms. Or at least not Twitch. I'm lying. It'll be about streaming platforms for sure. Goodbye.
Probably, yeah. I mean, at this rate, I think so. So basically, so we removed it, but not really. Well, I mean, I think that it's very clear the implication is that Twitch does not want to interfere with sponsorships that creators have, but they more want to stop a potential, like, they want to stop other people competing with them in the market for ad space on their own platform in the same way that Twitch delivers ads. So, like, it's very nuanced, and, like, I had to really think about this and figure it out myself. But in terms of, like, streams and everything like that, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Twitch reverted all of that, and they apologized. And I think also they kind of want to have the legal framework to take action on it if something does happen in the future. Then implementing an automated sponsored content system would take money from streamers that would have gotten the deals on their own. Well, yeah, no, I actually, so this might be confusing for people because it's very nuanced, but try to stick with me here. I actually like the idea of Twitch going out and getting sponsorships for streamers the same way for, like, banner ads and for, like, different games, etc. The same way the bounty board does. I actually think that's a really good idea because you're right. Like, I actually talked with my agent tonight. That's why I was a little bit late to the stream today. And I've talked to them for many, many times over many years. And obviously, many people that are larger streamers do have an agency, or they have a person who they have representation, something like that. And in the process of that, they are able to get deals themselves. However, a lot of small streamers, like I'm talking 70 viewer Andys, stuff like that, they are lucky to get a sponsorship. And usually whenever they get one, the deal isn't that great. So having effectively a bounty board for generalized sponsorships that Twitch could create, and this is something that I even consulted with them for because I believed in it, I thought would be extremely helpful and really good for smaller streamers. And it would help smaller streamers and people without large audiences. It would help them build revenue at scale for where they're at without having to meet, like, the 300 viewer benchmark that somebody would represent you for. Because this is the way that agencies work, right? Is that they take a percentage of the money. So, like, if you're doing a deal and, like, I get paid $100,000 and then somebody gets 10% of that, that's a lot of fucking money. It's $10,000. But if you're doing a deal and the deal gets you $270, you get $27 for comparatively not that much less work. So guess what? A lot of people that are very small, that don't make a lot of money off of partnerships, they have a really hard time being represented because it's just not worth it for the people that are representing them. That's just an unfortunate reality. Why do people care about smaller streamers so much? The reason why caring about smaller streamers is important is that in order for a rainforest to grow, there has to be grass. And if you don't have the grass, you don't have the bushes. And if you don't have the bushes, you don't have the trees. It's the entire... Does that make sense? It's about the ecosystem. And also, like, I can advocate for something that is not beneficial to me, but I still think it will be good for the platform. Does that make sense? So, like, I'm not a small streamer. I never was. My first stream, I got 250 viewers. But there are people out there that are. And those people, why would I not try to advocate for their best interest? If I think it's something that it's not going to hurt me, why wouldn't I want something to be out there to be easier for people to get to the position that I'm at? Smaller streamers are like new players in an MMO. Seeing a lot of them means the game looks good enough to try. That's actually really smart. I like that a lot. I definitely agree. That's why I think a lot of people see like a lot of, what's the word for it? Like, there's a lot of noise around Kick because you have all these small streamers that are moving over there. They're talking about it all the time. There's like a grassroots support for it. You know, again, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, there you go. It's grassroots support for Kick in that way because they're able to monetize their content better on Kick at a smaller scale. And I think that does go a long way. Now it's overshadowed by Aiden. Yeah, that's definitely true. There's a video right there. I think Ludwig summarized it pretty well. There were a couple of other things that weren't changed, but I don't really think they're going to be that problematic. The simultaneous streaming thing does seem very toxic, and I don't really see that being a benefit for the content creators or anything like that. However, I do really appreciate Twitch coming back and clarifying how they feel, and I think that's definitely a good thing. And it seems like Twitch wants to stop other markets, period, in a way. Yeah, maybe. I'll link you guys. I actually somebody sent me. This is actually what the CEO of Twitch actually said about it. Let me see if I can find it here. He apparently talked about it on this stream.
Stay there and maybe I'll ping you in a little while. But let me go through this. Anyway, as I was saying, we released a new branded content policy.
Okay, here we go.
And we got a lot of negative pushback. And
yep.
The bottom line is we messed up. It's on us, and I apologize for that. We recently, as you know, published a blog post acknowledging that. And I want to be very clear that sponsorships are a critical part. The architect, in fact, stay there.
Let me go ahead and make sure that we watch the whole thing after this. Okay, here we go.
And maybe I'll ping you in a little while, but let me go through this. Anyway, as I was saying, we released a new branded content policy, and we got a lot of negative pushback. And the bottom line is we messed up. It's on us, and I apologize for that. We recently, as you know, published a blog post acknowledging that. And I want to be very clear that sponsorships are a critical part of the creator ecosystem. And we fully support our creators getting sponsorships, an important part of the way they support themselves, and it's important to them and their communities, and it's very important to Twitch. So, of course, we've said that. The natural question that some of you might have is, but then how did this happen? What were you trying to do? What, happened here? Okay.
Image Shear would never do this? Well, Image Shear wouldn't do anything, to be fair. Well, the last thing that he did is that he said that people shouldn't be banned for different reasons. And then after he said that, it was in 2019 TwitchCon, he said this. Everybody kept tagging him whenever somebody would get banned for something stupid. And that was, I think, the last time he ever talked to the community. He's like, I'm not going to deal with that shit again.
And in general, sponsorship, as I said a few times, is the foundation of the creator ecosystem. In terms of, if you look at TikTok and Instagram, sponsorship is the way most of their creators, that's the only way they make money.
Yeah, ads on Instagram and TikTok don't pay for shit.
And it's an extremely important part of how our Twitch creators make money. And it's not just about their Twitch audience. It's about their reach on other platforms. And their ability to engage with sponsors is important across the spectrum. And this is also similar to YouTube, where that's an important part of creators. And so it's a critical part of the creator ecosystem. Now, ads, much like YouTube and other platforms, we've always had a prohibition against putting third-party ads into your stream. And that was in the contract, and especially thinking about third-party ad networks. And if I wanted to describe what we're pretty clear we don't think would be good for us in our community, would be to have people working with a third-party ad network burning in 3 minutes of ads into their stream. We don't think that's good for the experience, not good for us. And so
I kind of agree with that. I definitely do. And sure. However, I do think for like events, you have to allow people to be able to run ads for their stream. For like the event. Like let's say, for example, and I don't, like remember whenever Cutie Cinderella got the, had like the Fansly sponsorship where they played like an ad during the Streamer Awards? I think that's fine. I do. I think that's fine. I think that has to be fine because that's the only way those types of things. And by the way, it's not about, please, it has nothing to do with Fansly. Like, it's not about Fansly. It's about the idea of running an ad. And if you're running an ad that you curated and you got for your event, I think that's totally fine. But having another network do effectively the exact same thing Twitch is doing, I can see where they're coming from. And I think YouTube has the same rule.
That's something we've always prohibited.
When it's a show, it makes perfect sense.
But we've never been clear about the separation. And we were updating the TOS and the contracts. And we thought, let's provide some clarity here. And then, to be frank, as we wrote it, it was way too broad. And it was poorly done, and we messed up there. And I fully understand how people interpreted what was written. As I go back and look at it, I was like, yes, I can fully understand the interpretation. Yeah. There was a lot of detail, lots of pieces, and it wasn't clear about sponsorships and how important sponsorships are. And that created a great deal of angst in the community, and I really apologize for that because again, I understand why there was the response like that, and it was easy to interpret that way. So for those, to be clear, we have completely pulled back the branded content policy. We're staying away from that and not going there. So I just wanted to be clear on that. I wanted to apologize. And like as I think Chaos Productions here is, how do you think this would impact LLCS, Super Smash tourneys, or the Streamer Awards? Exactly. Our intent, and when we wrote it, we weren't thinking that we were trying to prohibit the way those things are funded. That's an important part of content.
Okay. Well, that answers it. So, yeah, there you go. Dem couldn't get away with it. That's fine. You have to understand that I have played World of Warcraft for almost 20 years. I have been on the internet for over 20 years. There is always going to be people that are trying to get something over on you or trying to do something. And at the end of the day, as long as it's not happening or it doesn't happen, I'm happy. Does that make sense? Because it didn't happen. I would have been mad if it did happen, but it didn't happen. It'll happen eventually, and whenever eventually comes, I'll make another video about it. It's too wishful? It's not wishful. It's allocating resources and attention to what matters.
The TOS has wording that, first of all, in terms of changing the TOS, we just can't change the TOS overnight. And the TOS wording is actually much less expansive than what had previously been in our contract. But I still think that some of that wording can be interpreted. And so we're going to go ahead and add some clarifying languages to make it clear that we're not talking about sponsorships. We're supportive of sponsorships. But that's going to be important to get out. Can't do it overnight. But we'll add some words to be clear.
Yeah.
And again, what's in there isn't different from what has been in the contract before, and we are not planning any changes in terms of what's happening on our platform today. So one way to think about this is a certain amount of stuff happening on our platform today, no plans to change any of that. Okay?
Okay, well then that pretty much settles it. There we go. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but everything now at this point seems to be good. And I want to say also, guys, thank you very much. Yesterday, we had a tremendous amount of support from a lot of you guys that like watching these events, you like watching these tournaments, these esports, etc. And a lot of you guys came out and supported what I was saying, what other content creators were saying. And Twitch sees where we're coming from, and it's not happening. At least not right now. And when it does, great. That means I can make another YouTube video about it.